Chevron USA versus Natural Resources Defense Council established a well-known framework for judicial deference to administrative agencies' interpretations of federal legislation. Under Chevron, if a statute was ambiguous, reviewing courts had to defer to a reasonable statutory interpretation made by the agency responsible for administering the statute. 40 years after Chevron, the Supreme Court announced the end of Chevron deference in Loper Bright Enterprises versus Raimondo. Congress passed the Magnuson-Stevens Fishery Conservation and Management Act in 1976 to address unregulated vessels and overfishing off the U.S. coast. The National Marine Fisheries Service administered the statute under a delegation from the Department of Commerce. In 2020, the Fisheries Service promulgated a rule that created an industry-funded monitoring program for herring fishing vessels in the Atlantic. The daily monitoring costs were roughly $700, which could significantly reduce vessel owners' earnings. Two groups of commercial herring fishers, headed by Loper Bright Enterprises and Relentless Incorporated, brought separate actions against the Commerce Department and federal officials to challenge the rule's validity. They argued that the statute didn't authorize the Fisheries Service to require industry funding for the program. The district courts in both cases rejected the plaintiff's argument and granted summary judgment for the government. The appellate courts affirmed, applying Chevron and deferring to the Fisheries Service's interpretation of the statute. The Supreme Court granted cert in both cases to decide whether Chevron should be overruled or clarified.